Hey up YouTube. I was going to go down the plot today and do a few bits until I realised that I've actually got nothing to do. So yeah, what I'm going to do is we're going to have another walk around the at-home sort of back garden allotment-y thing. I'll have a quick look through the greenhouse. I'm going to, it's just a bit of an update on the lockdown grow at home stuff really. So oh look, so I'll see you in a minute. Good morning YouTube. Okay, so we are back. We're in the at-home greenhouse really. So we're just going to have a look at a few things really. There's not a great deal. I mean, at this time of year, there's not a great deal going on. You're waiting on seedlings. There are things that can be planted out, but I'm doing a lot of brassica this year, so I'm kind of waiting on a lot of seedlings. But we'll run through things. This is the forsaken clementine that it keeps surviving getting put in the compost heap because I don't want it anymore. I potted up the other day the diamond white sweet peppers. So these will be planted, what, 5-6 weeks ago now. They were in the little modules. I potted them on the other day. Only reason I potted them on really, they were a little bit young to be potted on. See if I find it. I've got a couple of bad examples.
I don't think you do.
I had some weak ones. I must have left them down on the plot in the polytunnel. I had some weaker ones. The only reason I really potted them on is because somebody wanted to buy some off me. So they were potted on. But I will say, since being potted on, they've actually shot away, which is one thing that you do experience at this time of year. If you're running late on what you're sowing, don't worry about it. Things will catch up. Nature always finds a way. Quick update, one of the tomatoes that doesn't look like a tomato that came in the Moneymaker packet. Sort of an update on that. It's still growing on. It's a really good example actually of a plant. Who knows what it'll turn out to be. I'm going to pot this one on. It's going to go in a pot at home, I think. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of resources on it. I'm not going to put it in one of the big 30 litres, but I am going to pot it on. Just give you a closer look if I can. I mean, this came out of a Moneymaker packet, a Moneymaker seed packet. So that's one of the remaining, if I can get that in shot, that's one of the remaining seed leaves.
Is that one of the ones that you thought is pure nightshade?
Yes, so the concern with tomatoes reverting back to an earlier cultivar is, of course, tomatoes come from nightshade. So you want to be as far away from that, and you certainly don't want to be eating that. If it does turn out to be that it's a genetic throwback. So I will be packing this up, but it will be going somewhere safe, safely out of the way because of kids and dogs and things. Couple of the runts of the litter that kind of got abandoned and left outside. This is, I think they're both Dorset Nagas. They are both Dorset Nagas, and they're turning into lovely little, these might be my overwintering Dorset Nagas. Because they're turning into really strong, apart from that leaf, really strong little plants. So we may well find that becomes one of the overwintering plants. What else we got in here that's worth showing? Oh, in reply to Thomas from London Worms and Gardens, just to show you your video wasn't in vain, mate. This is my basil. Problem is, what do I do with it now?
It's one of the
I've never had it go this far. What, do I need to separate these and pot them on, or will there be? I mean, there's what, 10-15 plants there, or will there be quite? Wow, they're rooted out the bottom. Will they be quite happy growing on as a cluster like this? Can I just pop this on into a larger pot? Let me know, please. And actually, speaking of, this was actually sown at exactly the same time. I must admit though, the smell is beautiful. The smell of basil is really nice. This was potted at the same time in the little modules. It's not come out the bottom, but these are the same age plants, look. Quite a bit of difference. We've got...
Like they're better as a cluster.
It does look like they're happier in it as a cluster, and it looks like they prefer to deep root as well, so that could be why they're happier and they're not. Basil, mystery to me. These are the Swedes that I planted into this thing, egg tray. These are going to be going in the at-home allotment. And just to show you, these are the egg tray ones. So in actual fact, if I just... There was only, I think, 2 or 3 days difference in planting these guys on. And these are module sown. This is not a great deal of difference in the quality of plants. If anything, the egg tray ones are actually healthier. Go figure, eh? We've got chives. Not that, you know, there's much to look at when it comes to chives. Look, green shoots in a pot. Which ones are rays? Are these rays?
No, this one's rays.
Titan. So Ray, we're starting to get action on those seeds you sent me, mate. I think 2 are up.
No, just one.
Just one's up on rays. Okay. So we're starting to get action there.
You've got 2 Titans.
The Titans are up. And I'll just quickly mention this. It's more a tip than anything else. These are my onions, spring onions. Now, I don't know if they've been in a plot tour, but I've put sort of 70% of this tray in down on the allotment. Rather than let them go to waste, I'm actually going to, but all I've done is continue to water them. And I mean, these things got ravaged while I was planting them out. I mean, you can see from the state of the tray, you know, and they're still quite happy. So never discard, because I mean, these things you can interplant, they'll go anywhere, they take up no space. So all I'm going to do actually is I'm going to put them in the side of the cabbages and the broccoli down here, because they'll be out long, they'll be back out. I mean, I could sow some direct now and they'd be out long before the space was taken up by the cabbages.
Your cayennes need potting on.
Yeah, I've just come into the cayennes. These guys I'm going to pot on. I'm not going to do it on video, you guys have seen me do this numerous times. But these were just seeded on the windowsill, I think at the same time, so I reckon about 4 or 5 weeks ago. They are due for putting on. They're not rooted out the bottom yet, but what I'll do is I'll prick these out as opposed to trying to sort of take out the modules. But these are going to be my cayennes. I mean, I've got some bigger examples. I don't know if I've actually got them in here. No, I think they're indoors, of some cayennes.
What number they are?
Number 4. Is cayenne.
You got 5 and 2 out there.
5 and 2. 5 is hot lemon. 2 is scorpion. Or yeah, 2 is scorpion. 3 is reaper. So this is one of the ones that I started in January. This is an ahi hot lemon. You see, yes, it did go a bit leggy. I don't have big professional T5 lights. I make do with some cheap LEDs. But just to show you, you can still get strong little plants from that. And this guy, once again, as with anything else, it'll catch up. Once the temperature's right, it'll catch up. And you're starting to see signs of that in here. Look, you see, we're getting side shoots coming out the nodes, which obviously in a tomato or a, I'm probably going to get this the wrong way around, but in an indeterminate tomato, you'd take those out. In a pepper, that's a good thing. What I could actually do is top it. Just give it a snip there, so you're taking out the growing top, and it'll then focus on these side shoots and I'll get a bushier plant. But I'm quite happy to let this do what it wants to do. This is primarily being grown for seed for me for next year, because in actual fact the ahi hot lemon, there wasn't that many seeds in. And as I've discovered when I've gone to sell my spare plants this year, this was my most requested plant out of all of them. This, then the Sugar Rush Peach, was the most requested plant. This was from my second sowing of chili peppers. Didn't spend as long in the grow tent, didn't spend as long on heat. It's another super hot, it's a number 2, which I think I said is a scorpion. Once again, it's a lot smaller than the ahi hot lemon, it's a lot smaller than the cayennes. Would you go get me a cayenne, please, from upstairs off our bedroom? and a good example of one of the other super hots. But this will catch up. We'll come back to it in a minute. We've got just some onions. These were my Showmaster onions that I was doing a competition with the guys over at Rod and Pollock's. They've not bulbed up, but they're about, oh look, here's a coffee cup. Shameless promo. They're about, this is a bamboo skewer actually. We all know what a bamboo skewer thickness is. So a little bit thicker than that. I'm just growing them on now. I'm treating them as an onion, and I'll harvest them when I want an onion. I am growing them on in pots because I have run out of trugs and troughs and buckets and tubs and things for the moment. But once again, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. A quick update on my one seed beefsteak that I potted up on Wednesday. Actually, give me a second. I'm not going to take you out of the holder, not yet. We'll talk about a bit more about the chilies first. Because Mrs. Shed has just gone to get some more. We've got, what else have we got growing? I got really poor germination on these guys, but I don't mind. We've got some African marigolds, some French marigolds. I'm going to do a second sowing of these guys. I've got, in fact, to be honest guys, that's pretty much it. We've got the peas that I'm growing for pea shoots. They seem to be taking an unusually long time. I don't know if that's something I'm doing wrong, but it is my first time growing something as a microgreen. So what else? What else we got? I'll take you out of the phone holder. Give me a second. So this is one of the cayennes. Now you can see sort of the different tastes. You know, you've got mildly hot, a super hot, and then a regular chili. And this one was sown at the same time as that one, and this one down here, the big one, is in a 15 litre pot. So to give you some idea as to the size. But yet this one in this little 9 centimetre pot, if I can find some, has chilies on it already. So I'm going to pot this. I'm actually going to pot this guy up today. Now I think I've got enough compost here to do it. And then just to show you, Mrs. Shed can model them slightly. So let me pull the other super hot that was the second sowing that didn't spend as long in the grow tent. What one is this?
That's a 2.
Is that a 2? So we've got first sowing, second sowing directly behind it. So there we go. That's the difference the tent and the cheap LEDs have made. But we've got another cayenne, scorpion, reaper. Number 5, what did I say? Number 5 was ahi hot lemon, and number 1 was the Dorset Naga. And that's, you know, they're a world apart from, in fact these are all rather dry, they're a world apart from, if I can perch this somewhere where it's not going to fall off.
Yeah, I've got a spare hand.
Okay, so we've got one Dorset Naga that was happy inside, and then we've got little one that was abandoned outside to die and then refused to die. So we'll see which one happens to be the stronger plant when it's time. Done with them now. Thank you very much. So yeah, that guy's going to get potted on, so that can stay down here. Down here we've got the Moneymaker tomatoes that were potted on. I need to start thinking about getting a cane into these guys and watching for the side shoots. Look, side shoots are starting to emerge. Let them get a bit bigger and we'll talk about what to do with regards to taking them out. This is my overwintered jalapeno. Quite proud of this, my first ever attempt at overwintering, and we've got one, so I'm quite happy with that. The cayenne we've already looked at. Let's quickly, my pineapple experiment, and that's my one seed beefsteak in a 15 or a 20 litre pot, a large pot anyway. That'll be its final destination. We'll have a quick look outside, guys. See Sash, there she is, chewing on a lump of wood. Weird dog. She's got bones and stuff, she just chews on lumps of wood. These are this is the PTP, the kids' PTP. You'll see as I get down here, we have signs of life in most of them. The birds have had a little forage and a little sort of rummage through, but for the most part I think at least one plant has survived in all of them, and I'll net them over the weekend. There's the blueberries, they're quite happily sat there. They're in just ericaceous compost, and they're just going to chill out there until next year now. They're not going to be, I'm hoping, to be honest, they sit quite quietly, don't produce any fruit, and just chill out there through winter. I'll pop them on next summer. Oh, hiya Sash. The potatoes, they're not doing anything yet, wouldn't expect them to. In fact, you can see better when I stand back here. We've got turnips, beetroot, shallots. This is where I'm going to put those extra spring onions. Then we've got greyhound cabbage, we've got broccoli early purple, and then we've got some pink passion chard on the end there. It's not a great deal to see in there. The fast growers are really the ones that have only just been put in, the beetroot and the turnips. Up here, once again, I think a bird has had a rummage around in here. We've got the cut and come again lettuce, we've got some radish, quite poor germination on that radish actually, and then the carrots have gone ballistic. They're the carrots, so they're going to need thinning quite heavily actually. But what I'll do is I'll let them grow a lot bigger than that, and I'll thin them, and I'll use the thinnings in salads as a sort of microgreen, micro carrot as it were. The mint patty pan I think I'm going to abandon, and I'm going to try and regerminate some of that on some kitchen paper, see if I can get some active plants, because they should really have been up by now. The green beans, the experiment to see whether that trough is deep enough for green beans. Everything I've read says it should be, and they do seem quite happy at the moment. Once again, I think something's had one of my onions there, but these are some onions. They're not doing a great deal, but this is the unknown compost. This is the compost that was found at the side of the road. So I don't know what's in it nutrient wise, so I need to concentrate on giving these guys some feed. I need to get some granular feed at some point. I don't actually have any this year now, so I need to get myself some Grow More or some phosphate feed or something like that to give these guys a bit of a boost. But aside from that, guys, that is it. That is pretty much it. There's not a great deal of anything else going on. There's a mess in there that I'm not going to show you. I'm trying to in fact, let's have a quick look, see if we've got any slug visitors in the slug trap or slug attractor. And at the moment, this is the problem I have when I'm trying to make this nematode video for you guys. You know, a nice cabbage leaf sat in a nice dark damp environment, and I get no visitors, no takers, nil point. So that video will come as quick as I can. Oh, there is one, and that jar has been there for nearly a week, so go figure, guys. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this sort of brief look at the at home lockdown grow at home garden. It was improvised only 5 weeks ago, as you would, not even 5 weeks ago. When was this garden started, Tony? About 3-4 weeks ago? When did it was the first week of lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So where are we in lockdown? Week 3? Week 4?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's either week 3 or week 4. And none of this was here. You know, the wood frame, it wasn't here. The tubs, they weren't here. The plants, yes, they were started in modules in some cases, but sort of the turnips and things like that, you've seen me start. So, you know, just to reiterate, you're not too late. If you want to do the PTP, go back to the other video. You're not too late to get it made. You're not too late to get the peas in. So, you know, it is worth still doing a lot of these things. The onions are a little late on. The potatoes, you're not too late on. You could be doing still potatoes in buckets. Sunflowers, carrots you could still be doing. Lettuce, radishes you can do all through summer and even into late summer, early autumn. mean, essentially, actually, we're not in summer yet. We're still in spring, aren't we? So yeah, like I say, guys, I'm going to call that quits. I'm going to see you all later. You've seen me sort of hypocritically or ironically mention some of these guys, some of these mugs. These are now for sale in our merch store. We've got a pink, sorry, it is dirty, we have been using them, a pink Mrs. Shed and a green Mr. Shed. So if you feel like supporting the channel, guys, we don't make loads of money, but that's because I've priced them as low as I think is fair. But yeah, guys, head on over to the link's in the description. Head on over, pick yourself up a nice little mug. I think it's a great quality. The printing is under the enamel, so it should last. I'm well happy about that. I wasn't sure on that. So yeah, head on over. I'll see you in a bit.